cultural appropriation. What are your views on it? Is it really offensive for, let's say, a white man to wear a turban if they're not making fun of it? I personally don't think so. I'm asking you this because in your speech at the World Hindu Congress in Bangkok, you said that the West has appropriated yoga. Okay, interesting point that you make. If a white man or a non Indian person wants to wear a turban and is doing it in a respectful manner, not trying to make fun of it, is it offensive? I don't think so. If you're not making fun of my culture and you're trying something out, I have no objection. I have no issue. I don't find it offensive. Okay, that's my answer to the first part of your question. If a foreign lady wants to wear a sari, why should I find it offensive? Let her wear it. Let her be happy. Good for her. Let more of them do it. I have absolutely no issue with that. That is not cultural appropriation. Okay? That is not cultural appropriation. What is cultural appropriation? Let's try and see what the dictionary has to say about this term appropriation, shall we? Maybe that will give us a hint. Appropriation. What does it mean? The act of appropriating or taking possession of something, often without permission or consent. Anything appropriated for a special purpose, especially money and so on and so forth. Okay, so that is appropriation. Essentially, it is theft. Okay, it's essentially theft. Now let's dive a little deeper into cultural appropriation. So when is cultural appropriation a problem? A foreign person wearing a sari, wearing a turban, wearing an Indian dress, trying to speak an Indian language. I have no objection to it. I have no problem with it because they are doing it out of their own interest and they're not being disrespectful. But when it comes to yoga, instead of giving you words, let me give you pictures, shall I? Let us go back to Google. Yoga. So I have no issue with the fact that if you go to Google Images, you will find mostly non-Indian people doing yoga. That's fine. My problem is with this. What is hot yoga? There is no such thing as hot yoga. But these individuals are doing something called hot yoga. What is drunk yoga? There is something called drunk yoga. Look at that. Yoga and wine, yoga and beer, yoga and God knows what else. What is power yoga? There is no such thing as power yoga, but they have created something called power yoga. What is dog yoga? They are doing yoga with dogs. Okay, does Indian culture tradition have yoga with dogs? We don't. But these people have invented dog yoga. What is goat yoga? Well, there is yoga with goats. You see, when you take my culture and distort it, that's a problem for me. That is cultural theft. That is cultural appropriation. When this bitter, cynical person takes pranayam and takes the practices of Himalayan yogis who spend years in the snow, he combines that together and calls it the Wim Hof method. That is cultural theft. He has stolen these ideas and passed them off as his own invention, his own creation. The Wim Hof method. It is Bhastrika. You know, it's a technique in pranayam. Bhastrika. That's what he uses. And he also advocates cold water immersion and exposure to cold temperatures. All of that has been practiced for thousands of years by Indians. And he has simply combined two of these or three of these things together and is passing it off as the Wim Hof method. And he has become a great celebrity. Yoga is about joy, happiness, etc. Does that guy look happy to you? Have you seen his face? How angry, how bitter he is at all times. That is cultural theft. That's cultural appropriation. Cultural appropriation is when a guy like Andrew Huberman takes Indian practices and gives them Western names. Cardiac coherence breathing. Huh? What is cardiac coherence breathing? It is a made-up name for pranayam. That's what people like Andrew Huberman do. So this is what I mean by cultural theft, cultural appropriation. I have no problem with Westerners or anybody in the world practicing yoga. But when they take yoga and distort it out of proportion and distort it in a tremendously disrespectful way, that's what I have a problem with. I hope it makes sense what I'm saying.